Well, let's talk about our discussion this week. Last thing here we got for the night. The Oculus Quest 2 released 8 days ago, as you know, and with it came some controversy because they put a terrible headband, or what seemed to be a terrible headband with it, an old elastic type like Gear VR days, but they said for $50 or $130, you can fix it with these first-party Oculus head straps. I even reviewed the Elite head strap, the $50 one that doesn't have a battery, and in my review, thank goodness I said this, I was like, I don't know how this thing is going to be. I feel like the gear, something about it, I feel like it's going to break. Well, guess what started happening? These things are breaking like crazy. There was a Reddit post that the person said, well, I've been playing for 4 days, and they showed the whole headband down the side had completely cracked through.
Ooh.
And then the first comment says, oh, well, here's more. And they posted link after link to other people who had done the same thing. They posted like 12 more links of the same thing that's happened. This thing's only been out for 8 days. I mean,
unbelievable.
That's no time. And then other people in the same thread started then posting their pictures of their broken one too. Not even from those first 13 that we saw. There was just countless these things breaking. How would you feel if you spent all this money? If you were about to buy one, Adam, and you probably would have bought the head strap, I'm guessing, because the one that comes with it's crap.
Of course I would have.
8 days later, it snaps in half.
I would be so pissed. And this is honestly a result of what Facebook is really trying to do. Facebook is trying their absolute hardest to drive costs down, but the result of it is that all of their head straps that they're making are just the most dirt cheap, flimsy thing possible. And so what were they expecting, trying to skimp out so much? It's like the default strap is uncomfortable. The Pro head strap is breaking left and right. I mean, they're trying to drive costs down to get people into it, but at the cost of having a terrible product, I would be so angry.
So let me verify. You are saying it is the upgraded one that's breaking, right?
Yep.
Oof. Yeah,
I know that makes it even worse.
Thank goodness you have the piece of crap one to go back to when your upgraded one you bought breaks on you, I guess.
I don't know if that's a Pro there. Thank goodness I have this piece of crap to go back to.
Yeah. I can't believe it. Because, I mean, the Quest 1, the head strap was uncomfortable. But, man, you could run that thing through the washing machine and it wouldn't take any damage. It's pretty tough. So to think that you could pay $50 for this strap, thinking that it's decently comfortable. So you're like, oh, I got this better head strap. This is the headset I want. And then it just breaks this soon. I kind of feel like there's going to be a recall if there's this many happening.
There has to be.
Right?
I don't think Facebook would ever own up to doing a recall. Right?
Well, yeah, that is true. Like, here is our upgraded version 2 of the headband.
If you had a 1, you get a 10% off coupon towards this one.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they'll just like be smooth and slide it in.
That, it worries me. Like, and you brought up a good point, Adam. They're trying to cheap out so hard that like maybe they're cutting some really bad corners. Like, what's going to happen next? Is the side of the headset going to start snapping off, something that we can't even fix? Like,
the whole headset's going to catch on fire.
It's going to be the Samsung Note 8 all over again. Yes. Except that'd be really bad because it's on your face when it happens.
Oh my God.
Well, this story is only just developing. We only saw this and have heard about it today. I hope that by tomorrow or the next day, Facebook will say something about this or do something about this. But they might just say, oh, it's only a handful of them. But if I had one right now, I'd be putting the stock strap back on and sending the other one back and returning it. Because I wouldn't want it to last 30 days and break on day 31, and then I'm screwed.
That's a huge chunk of money for that.
Yeah. $50 for just a head strap that feels ultimately very cheap is kind of shocking. And especially if you bought the $129 battery strap with the case and then this thing breaks, like, what are you going to, you could duct tape it with the way they're breaking, I suppose. But how janky is that now with your nice fancy headset you want to show off to people as duct tape holding it together?
Get the white duct tape so it blends in.
Right.
Luckily, I have some, so if anyone needs some, let me know.
And here's the thing, though. If this was the only thing that was going wrong with the Quest 2, that might even be acceptable. It's like, they are trying to go pretty cheap on it, and they are getting it into the hands of a lot of people. So if this was the only thing wrong, that would be okay. The problem is that this is just another step in the series of terrible things that are happening with the Quest 2 release, with people getting locked out of their Facebook accounts and therefore their Oculus accounts with all their games, basically turning their Quest 2s into giant paperweights and breaking them. I mean, this is just another awful step in the comedy of errors that is the Quest 2 launch. And it honestly makes me so sad to see it.
If it wasn't for that cheap price point, like, this thing might be dead in the water, but that cheap price point is going to be the only thing that keeps driving this forward somehow. But
is that enough though? Is that enough? I mean, Facebook, they really went all out on cutting corners to try and make this as dirt cheap as possible. And $300 price point is incredible. But is that going to be enough to make up for the all of the really quite serious problems that are going on?
I think it will. What do you think, Destiny?
I mean, I guess there's enough people out there that are now going to be wanting, especially with the holidays coming up, enough people, wanting to get into VR, that this really is like their best option right now. I think that like sales will definitely continue, but for people like us, who kind of know better and have been in VR a little bit longer, like that's ridiculous. Like, that is not worth it. Like, it's a major red flag, to me. Like, I really don't want one now. Like, I know y'all had asked me if I would trade in my Quest for one, but
No.
No.
The thing about this one versus like the Facebook accounts issue, at least that can probably be fixed pretty quickly. But these head straps, these head straps, a lot of people bought these already and they're out there. Yeah. So if Facebook doesn't do something, if these continue to break at this rate and they don't do something about this, this is a bigger problem because it's too late. It's already out there and people are going to continue buying them. If this news doesn't get out fast enough, they don't pull these things off the shelves. We're going to just see a whole flurry of these things breaking everywhere. Because one person even said there's broke 2 hours into playing. 2 hours. That is so bad. And basically where it's breaking in the side straight up the band. So what is happening is probably as they're pulling it off, it's putting a little strain in that area. It should be built for that, but it's not. So when you go to pull the back up off your head, it's putting a little strain each time. And it's not going to take them many times before it just snaps there on one side or the other.
That's just like how many people have had the controller snap in half. Like mine snapped in half. I had to duct tape that back together. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like with the controllers and the head strap, they're just not listening. Like those have been two major complaints, like from the get-go. Like even since I got mine, that's, we've talked about that several times, like as far as like comfort and like, yes, it is durable. Like I haven't had an issue with this like head strap breaking, but it's just crazy. Like they do not listen to their customers.
Well, and what's starting to happen on the Quest 1, but at least this is a year and a half after launch, the head strap right at the top, the plastic piece that holds that on is starting to break on people now.
Oof.
Which is bad because even most of the aftermarket head straps rely on that. Basically, it's a piece of plastic, a plastic little bar that the Velcro wraps around in the top. People are starting to have those break now, and there's not any easy solution to fix that. But that's a Quest 1. That's a year and a half there. I kind of expect a product to start having little durability issues that far into the game. I don't expect 8 days is the oldest these things are for anyone. That's the longest anyone's had them besides YouTube reviewers. And they're breaking. That's barely a week. It's barely
and when
a week.
You think like 2, like you think like upgraded version. Yep. So yeah, that's very sad to see.
Well,
I know this is literally the pro headband. It's
elite. It's elite at breaking. Well, I hope Facebook can pull their head out of it here. Like the VR industry doesn't need setbacks. We've got some momentum. We've got good things happening. We don't need more bad publicity right now. And Facebook, who's now probably the biggest player in VR, is getting some bad publicity over this. So
exactly.
I hope they see that as like an important thing as to the VR industry as a whole, and they do the right thing. Recall these quickly if they really are breaking like this, and fix this. Don't just let this ride, because you're going to F VR again, and we don't need that. We deserve better.